All right, guys, I'm going to walk you through our first learning goal, which is all about the solar system. So our learning goal is I can describe the makeup of our solar system and its defining features. So first of all, we want to look at what is our solar system. Our solar system is the sun and the collection of 8 planets, all of their moons that orbit around the sun. And it also consists of other small bodies, celestial bodies, including asteroids, meteors, and comets. So we're going to start by talking about the sun and then kind of work our way out of the solar system. So the sun is a star, if you didn't know. And the Earth orbits around it, as well as all of the other planets, because it is so massive and its gravitational pull is so big that all of these things kind of revolve around it. We call it a heliocentric model of our solar system. Just like we learned about elements in our matter unit, the sun is made up of mostly hydrogen and helium. Those are the 2 main elements. It's about 4.5 billion years old, so it's been around for a real long time, y'all. And it's only middle-aged, so it has some more life left in it. It is so big that you could fit over 1 million Earths inside of it. And its mass makes up more than 90% of the mass of the entire solar system. So then we're going to move from the sun to the terrestrial planets. These are called the inner planets. They're closest to the sun. These terrestrial planets are defined by the fact that they are made up of rocks and metals. So those metals that you'll find on the periodic table, that's what these planets are mostly made up of. They have a hard surface, a molten heavy core. They just have a few moons usually, or none at all, because of their gravitational pull isn't strong enough. And they also have features such as valleys, volcanoes, craters. You're going to see a lot of craters from impact. Our terrestrial planets, if you look at the image starting at the top, are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Venus is one of my favorite planets. We'll get more details on the planets on our next learning goal. Right now, we just kind of want to go over them in general. After you go past Mars, before you get to the outer planets, you're going to hit something called the Asteroid Belt. The Asteroid Belt is a region where there's a ton of these rocky asteroids, and it formed kind of during the formation of the planets. They're just kind of all the leftover rocks. So the Asteroid Belt formed when the solar system formed. It's called the Asteroid Belt, and a good way to remember that is it's kind of halfway between the solar system. So you've got or halfway between the planets. You've got the terrestrial, and then the outer planets, the Jovian planets, and the asteroid belt kind of sits in the middle, just like the belt that you wear around your waist sits in the middle of your body. So that is the asteroid belt. Then you can move to the Jovian planets, and those are the outer planets. So these are all going to be the gas giants. They orbit far from the sun. They have no solid surface. They're essentially just large balls of gas composed primarily of hydrogen and helium, much like the sun. And if you look at the image, the planets from top to bottom, closest to the sun to furthest, are Jupiter, Saturn with its beautiful rings, Uranus, and Neptune. Some other celestial objects you might see in the sky: a meteoroid, which is a small rocky object that's floating around in the solar system. If it comes into Earth's atmosphere, we call it a meteor, and that's like a shooting star when it burns up in the atmosphere. But then if it does hit Earth, we call it a meteorite. So it has a couple different names. And then there's also a comet, which is often described as like a dirty snowball. It's made of ice and dust. And if it gets close enough to the sun, you can see this like tail of gas and dust starting to burn up, and it looks really pretty in the sky. In our notes here, we also have some fun facts. We do mention Pluto. It is a dwarf planet. We didn't forget it, but there are a lot of dwarf planets. So read through these fun facts if you want about the dwarf planets and other objects kind of further out, even beyond Neptune. So we'll get more into details on each of these planets in our next learning goal, but I hope this was helpful. And don't forget to do your brain pop activity.